Okay, so in this one, I'm going to show you what I like to call a gizmo. And what a gizmo is basically a new gizmo, but has a few advantages over a regular gizmo. And the main differences is that the gizmo or the gizmo does not require to have access to the gizmo file on disk. So for example, you could have a few different gizmo inside your script, send the new script to a different person on another computer, and the new script will still open without any error, even if the person on the other side does not have access to that gizmo. So also you could have some custom tool inside your own nuke folder, and even if you have those gizmo inside your script, you'll be able to send them on the render farm, and even if the all render farm does not have access to the gizmo file, the new script will still run perfectly. So just to show you what I mean, I'll just make a few random node like that will make a very simple gizmo. So I'll group those nodes, and just for the sake of this example, I'll add a slider. So I'll pick one of the blur, and let's say we pick the size slider of the blur node. So click on done, and then we'll export this as our new gizmo. So we'll go on the node tab and click on export as gizmo. So I'll export the gizmo inside my .nuke folder so that my nuke installation has an access to the gizmo file. So we'll call this one test and click on save. So now if we go on our nuke folder, we'll see that inside our .nuke folder, we have a new file called test.gizmo. So now we need to add a menu entry to our menu.py file so that we can have access to the gizmo inside of nuke. So we'll go inside our Python editor, and inside our menu.py, we'll add the different bits of code required to have access to our gizmo. So first we'll import the nuke module, and then we need to add two lines. So the first one will make a new variable to reference the toolbar of nuke so that we can add our custom gizmo to it. So we'll make a new variable called toolbar equal, then we'll make a reference to the nuke toolbar, so nuke.toolbar. And the toolbar that we want to add our gizmo is the nodes toolbar, so nodes. And then we'll take our toolbar object and we'll add our command to call our gizmo. So we'll add command like that. And the first argument we need to pass is the name of the gizmo. So we'll pass test. And then we need to pass the Python command to call our gizmo. So we'll pass nuke.create node, which is the Python command to create a new node. And between two parentheses, we'll pass the name of our gizmo. So again, we'll pass test. So test here as the first argument is the name in the menu that our gizmo will have, and here is the command to call our gizmo. So now if we launch a new nuke instance, we should have access to our new gizmo. So I'll just launch a new nuke instance to see if everything is working. So we'll start a new nuke instance. And now if I click on tab and click on tab test, we see that we have access to our gizmo. So now we see that we have our gizmo on our nuke script. So I'll just add some default node here, and we'll save this script on disk. So we'll click on save comp as, and again inside my nuke folder, I just save this as my script and save this. So now what I'll do to show you what is the downside of having a gizmo on disk, I'll just close this nuke here and go again on my nuke folder. And here you see we have our test.gizmo. So I'll delete this. I'll just rename it so that we still have access to it. So I'll just put an underscore before the test.gizmo here, and we'll go back here and reopen a new instance to see what happened when we try to reopen the script that had reference to our gizmo. So if I click on open comp and go in my nuke folder and open our script here, we see that we have an error since the nuke script is not able to find the gizmo in any of the nuke path. So that's where a gizmo will solve this kind of problem. So once again, we'll close this nuke instance and go back here where we had our test gizmo. So I'll just rename it again to its original name, and we'll open this in the text editor. So just right click, open with, and take any text editor that you want. So here is the inside of our gizmo. So we see that we have our 3 blur node here that is making our gizmo. So the way to turn this gizmo into a gizmo is that we need to change first the gizmo part here, and we also need to add a new line to this code here. So first we'll change gizmo for group. So this will turn this gizmo into a group. And then we need to add a new line with a space just before it, and we'll put name. And then we need to pass the name that we want to give to our gizmo. So we'll put test like that and click on save. So now if we go back in our own nuke folder, we'll just rename our test gizmo here to its original name. So we'll put test here. And then we'll just close this nuke instance and launch a new one, and we'll see if our modified code is still working inside of nuke. So reopen a new nuke instance and press tab, and we'll call our test gizmo and press enter. And we see now that we have our gizmo still working with our new code. So now we'll simulate what would happen if we save the script and reopen it on another computer that does not have access to this gizmo. So we'll save this comp, and we'll save it as gizmo comp and click on save. So now the script has a gizmo saved in it. So then we'll go inside our own folder again, and we'll simulate what would happen on a computer without the file. So we'll select our test gizmo here, and we'll rename it so that the computer cannot find this gizmo. Go back in nuke, we'll close this, and then we'll reopen the comp. So open comp, we'll select our gizmo comp and click on open. So now you'll see that even if we have removed the original gizmo file, the actual code of the gizmo is saved inside the nuke script. So now you can share this nuke script anywhere you want. And since we have modified our gizmo in a way that it is safe inside the nuke script, anywhere you'll be able to open those kind of nuke script with your own custom tool in it. So I think there's more benefit than, in using a gizmo over a regular gizmo. The only downside of a gizmo is that if you update your gizmo, the gizmo and the new script won't be updated since it's not linked to a specific file on this. So if your goal is to have a gizmo that you need to update really often, and that the artists need the latest version every time, then the gizmo won't be the way to go, since the code won't be updated when you save a new version of the gizmo. But more time than the other, I find that updating a gizmo might break the nuke script, since if you change the gizmo too much, sometimes it will break the gizmo in the older script. So what I prefer to do is convert all my gizmo like that, and if for some reason I really need to push an update, I'll just make a new version and ask the artist to update the gizmo inside of their new script. So if you want a very useful way to have your tool without having always a dependency to disk, the gizmo is the way to go.